There were 52 teeth sitting in Korie's cupboard staring at her.
On top of our dishes.
On top
Did you
of the
throw those
dish.
away?
Yes, the top one.
Because I was
Only
thinking
the
about
top
burning
one.
your whole house.
Only the top one. All right, are we going into the story? Are we
Oh,
ready?
yeah.
That is the
Well,
welcome
we're
duck
in.
call room. Korie had a
We're
possum
already
in her
in the
house.
story?
Go.
Okay.
There we go. Welcome to the duck call room. The boss is here. I know y'all thought y'all see Willie, but no, the real boss
the real
is
boss.
here.
The real
Korie-
boss.
Thank
Korie
you
is joining
for that
us.
acknowledgement.
Hey,
Appreciate that.
I know
You
where-
always acknowledge it.
I
You
do. I call you
Thank-
boss lady every time you walk in
You do.
here. So
I appreciate
guarantee
that,
you.
Martin.
Yeah. I know. Hey, I've been here 15 years. I got it.
Who runs the
I got
show?
it. I ain't talked to your husband in 3 months. I see you every day.
Like Si said, he's got people.
Yeah.
Right, Si?
That's right.
Yeah,
Hey,
got people.
yeah.
But no, so before we did hit record, we were comparing possum stories. But Korie has the most recent possum story. So
Yeah.
we're going to.
I just had a possum in our house.
In the home.
And not only was it in our house, it was sitting on our dishes in the kitchen, the place that we eat off every day.
Okay.
So, you know,
I've got
I
a
thought-
follow up to this now, knowing
Oh,
his location.
I was
So
going to say.
I've got a follow up to this.
I
of-
got to tell you the whole story,
Yeah.
but like this is one thing that I am rethinking at this moment because I have those open cabinets with all the dishes, and I love that. I've had that for 9 years. We've been in the house. Oh, are we looking at possums?
They're just the grossest
They really are
animal in the
gross.
whole wide
They really
world.
are. They are. So I have open cabinets. Our dishes are all out, but now I understand the reason behind cupboards, like cabinets that close, because if a possum gets in your house, then they, essentially, I guess they
thought that's
couldn't
what
sit on your.
doors were for.
Well,
Well,
no,
true.
because they're like
Keep the
they're kind of
possums.
like Houdini.
True.
I'm serious.
They
Yeah.
can be anywhere.
They
Okay.
can get anywhere.
So
I'm
listen to
serious.
this. All right. So here's the timeline. Friday morning, I wake up. We had been in LA. So I come back. And so I slept a little later than normal because I'd been on the West Coast. And
2 p.m.
I came out of my room at like 9 o'clock, which normally we let Spaz out at like 7. Okay, our dog, Spaz. Okay,
Yeah.
so I open the door to my room and there is poop and pee right outside the door of my bedroom. And I'm like, I cannot believe she pooped and peed. But I was like, I guess because I was a little late. So I took some of the blame. I was like, okay, I guess, maybe I just should have let her out earlier. But that's weird because our dog does not poop or pee in the house. Like she's very well trained.
Good dog.
Curly's top dog. She's very well trained. So give Curly a little shout out.
Yeah.
She's very well trained. She does not. But I mean, I was like, what is the other explanation? There's poop and pee outside my bedroom. So I clean it up and think nothing about it. Okay. Monday, that's Friday.
Oh, no.
Nothing. I don't see anything else. No other evidence. Monday, we find poop on our kitchen counter. I have eaten in the kitchen all weekend. I have been, yes, exactly. On the kitchen counter. Okay, so
Which grandkid you blaming on?
no. Then we know, obviously, that's not the dog. Okay, Martin, you'll be so proud of me for this. Okay, so then we start trying to investigate. And Willie's like, it's a cat. There must be a cat that got in this house. And I look on our kitchen counter and I saw the print and I Googled like animal
Oh.
tracks.
Yeah.
All
And
Prince of North America.
that's right.
Huh.
And I was like, nope, it's a possum because you could see the print on our
Yeah.
kitchen counter.
That was
Yes.
on your
Oh
Instagram
man,
story.
we were about to
Yes.
have a full Duck Dynasty episode again. Put the flower out and see if
No,
we could
yeah,
track it.
so you
Like,
gotta track it.
yeah,
We
we
should
were
have.
about to go back straight Duck Dynasty. Golly.
So it's all like everyone's like theorizing. Someone's like it's a raccoon. Willie's like it's a cat, and I'm like no, it is a possum. So we search the house. That's what it looked like right on my kitchen counters.
Look at there.
So we search the house all day long. We look, under everything. Can't find anything. That night we clean up or whatever. That night we're in the kitchen and I'm telling Maisie, who's living
yeah.
with us at the time, I'm telling Maisie, I'm like, you're not going to believe this. Like there was poop right here. And I look over to point where it was and I'm eye to eye on one of our kitchen dishes, more poop. And I'm like, oh no, there's poop on the dish. And then I look to the right and the possum is just sitting on our plate, eye to eye. I am 6 inches from it. I screamed. I start screaming, and I like start running. And then Maisie runs, and we run into my bedroom. I fall on the floor. I have to pee. Then I'm like, okay, I gotta pee. And then I text out help to like the whole to everybody, you know, like help someone
All
get
caps?
her. Yeah,
You go all caps?
Yes, all caps.
Sure.
Yeah,
This
yes.
is an emergency.
So that's an emergency. So I get a text from Bella with Jacob on the buggy, like he's on his way. John Luke's like on his way. Everybody's on their way. Because
man.
it was so scary. So I go back in there. The possum is playing possum. But the first time he was not. He was awake and looking at me eye to eye. I get back in there. He's like laid off. His head's like hanging off the edge of my dishes.
Oh no.
My plates. Yes. And Jacob and his friend Logan come in and they just like pick it up by the tail like it's nothing. And that was the end of it. And then I had to disinfect our whole house basically because he'd been living there.
That's one of those times you need like
for
a
a
whole
week.
For 4 days.
Weekend.
over the house.
all weekend. He'd been there all weekend.
All weekend.
Where else was he? Yeah.
So
I
did
don't
we
even know.
ever?
In your bathtub.
No, no, he'd have been stuck in there.
That's a good point.
Yeah, they're
That's a
too
big
slick. You
bathtub.
can't-
So
well,
where
you
was
can't-
he that whole day we were searching for him? That's the question. I
The
think
pantry?
there was a bowl. There's like a wooden bowl up there. I think he was like just circled up in that bowl.
Did you throw away the bowl?
So here's the thing.
Is that your salad bowl?
Every time I looked at it, I just like gagged. Like I was just kept gagging, just thinking about it. It was really disgusting. It's bad.
So there's no
But-
telling where he was on the last
There's no
one or
telling.
the podcast. I don't know how these things go in order, but Brittany found one in her glove compartment of her car. I had no idea.
how?
Like no clue. No clue how it got in there.
Hey, was it alive?
Very alive. Yeah, very alive. I removed it.
My
Um,
goodness.
I did not grab it because, boy, he was in a tight spot. So I put on a glove before I grabbed it. in case
Yeah,
I
but
got
he
bit.
did have a glove.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
smart.
I went with a glove to grab him
Yeah.
behind the head. But to just let you know, so this possum was on your dishes, right?
Yeah.
So there was one time I was fishing on Beff River, a little river just to the east of us here in North Louisiana. And I'm fishing, and I get to smelling the worst thing you can smell, just like death, rot, nasty smell. And I go around the curve of the river, and there's a cow that the farmer had dispatched, and he brought down to the bank of the river.
Dispatch.
It got sick or something. It was dead. It was dead. It was a dead cow,
Oh, okay.
bloated.
He's trying to
But
say.
the buzzards had already been there, and buzzards always go after the rear end first. So they
God.
make a hole back there.
Yeah.
This is getting grosser.
So yeah,
What-
this is
what-
bad deal. So
This
then
is biology
This is getting
201
worse.
was
this is real life
It's
stuff.
real
And
life.
so I'm fishing, and I'm like, and I start catching some fish because there's a bunch of flies and maggots and like the circle of life, like fish eat all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah.
So I start catching some
Yeah.
right there by. And then so I'm just sitting there and I'm catching them, and then I noticed the cow moving, and I'm like, well, that's something
Something ain't right.
Something ain't right there.
Yeah.
And out of that hole
No.
comes Mr. Possum.
No.
Oh, that's gross.
No.
If you want to know
no.
just how foul of an animal that was on your
Oh,
dishes
my
Yeah.
gosh.
is,
Yeah.
Mr.
Martin.
Possum crawled out of a
Oh, no.
bloated cow
You
on the
just
bank of a
ruined
river.
this. You just ruined it for me. I thought I had
Luke
gotten over it.
Skywalker
I thought
also.
I'd recovered.
Well,
now I'm like,
I mean, now
I might be
granted-
moving.
Well, but now granted, that's a little more feral area out there. So I
This
mean,
was a neighborhood possum.
This is neighborhood
This was
possum.
a neighborhood possum. Speaking of,
Yeah.
it's still a neighborhood possum
Yeah,
because
they
we-
gave it the
we
taste
caught
of
it
the
and
great
released.
indoors, and then they said, "Where should we put it?" Over by Big Dave's house. They didn't even kill it.
well, we put it in the woods over there.
He didn't deserve
it's
to die.
nice.
Like, look,
Listen,
I
No,
will.
Fine
once
possum.
an animal like that gets a taste of the indoors, he's got to go. Si,
What?
are you excited about your boots?
Yeah, I am.
I'm excited for you. Ever since I've known you, you've always had a good pair of
He
boots
has.
nearby.
He has had an eclectic collection of boots I've seen him in.
He's a man that
over
likes
the
a good
years.
pair of boots.
Oh, but he's finally found the best boots. They're easy on and they're easy on the eyes, much like you, Si. We're obviously talking about our friends over at Tecovas. Tecovas crafts quality Western boots for everyone from generational ranchers, that's not you, Si, and lifelong cowboys, nor is that.
He might be a lot. Whoa.
Well,
to-
hey,
to-
I could be a lifelong cowboy.
Thank you.
But you're way closer to first-time boot buyers than those two.
That would be me.
Yeah, there you go. Born in Texas in 2015, Tecovas makes it easy for anyone to find their perfect boot. Every one of Tecovas boots are handcrafted with over 200 meticulous steps for broken-in comfort right out of the box. Whether it's a long day or a big night, your Tecovas are built to last and impress. And ever wondered if you can pull boots off with your personal style? Johnny D?
I've done it before, thank you.
Oh, well, there you go. But if you haven't, you owe it to your feet to pull on a pair of Tecovas. Plus, with Tecovas' Best in the West guarantee, you get free returns and exchanges for 30 days.
That feels like the greatest guarantee in the world. Best in the West from Tecovas.
There you go.
It doesn't get any more solid than that.
And they're from the great state of Texas. They're super comfortable, super durable. And look at them. I mean, they do actually look good.
Them are bison boots there. Those look phenomenal.
Them will be my night out boot.
Oh, night out at 76 when you go stepping out, huh?
Yeah, when I go stepping out. Boy.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
I may even hit the dance floor.
Oh,
you will hit the dance floor.
Hey.
Oh, okay. Tecovas has got the boot for you right now. Get 10% off at tecovas.com/
Duck.
when you sign up for email and text. That's 10% off at tecovas.com/
Duck.
tecovas.com/
Duck.
see site for details. Tecovas.
That's right.
Point your toes
We're the
west.
best.
Baz barked one night, and then she was like, all right, well, come on in.
This
I'm
poor,
like,
this poor
what?
girl from England's mind is blown,
I know, that's
buddy.
true. She needs to come on and tell about this. That's true.
Yeah, I need to know
No,
this from a
but she
British
actually-
She's
perspective.
from
You
England?
know, she was actually very impressed by Jacob's friend picking up the possum. She was like, that was actually pretty impressive. So she's like learning
so
the
Jacob
ways.
didn't even pick it up.
Well, his
he
friend,
had a guy.
No,
No,
Jacob
no.
brought a guy in a 18-foot dip net.
No.
He was the
trying-
net man.
That is actually my fault because I told Jacob, I was like, no, go get the net. I
The
didn't know
video's
the
hysterical.
friend was going to just go pick
Just
it up.
grab it, yeah.
I sent Jacob for the net. John Luke
Okay.
shows up at the same time too. So it's all kind of like happening together. They were all willing.
The
pick
video
up the
is
possum.
hysterical because the
But-
one guy's going to grab it and Corey's going, get the net, get the net, get the net, which I'm for because you don't want that thing running
I
over
want
any more
him to
plates.
bite.
Well, no.
I would assume your plates are expensive and
Well,
all
they're
of them need to
they're
go.
really not. They're just plain old plates, but
They got to go.
well, we washed them really well. So
Yeah.
here's what we did. Here's the protocol. Martin, tell us if this is a
Pretty
good
good
protocol.
plates.
Because I don't like bleach in the house because I'm like, I don't really like the chemical in the house, but I was like, this calls for the bleach for
Yep.
Oh,
sure.
absolutely.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we dipped them all in bleach water.
Yep.
I'd have
then-
let them sit in it overnight.
Yeah.
but-
Oh, well,
Yep.
shoot. Okay, we
Gasoline.
didn't do that. Then we put them in the dishwasher on like high
Yeah,
sanitized,
sanitize, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
high,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
ran it twice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Feel like
that-
that's good?
that'd probably
No?
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
I would
Okay.
imagine.
All
Yeah.
right, good.
I would have let them sit overnight and then just run them on sanitize once. But
Also, like, why does this always happen when Willie's not there? That is
There's a
Just-
chance that we cannot discount the fact that there is a chance that Willie saw a possum, opened the door, threw it in the house, and then went out of town.
and left. Yeah.
well.
I mean, he is a prankster. He ain't that good.
I
though.
don't think he do. I mean, this
I
many
don't-
He
years
threw a
in,
snake in
Oh.
the shower with you.
it's true. He couldn't hold it for that long and not tell me. I think
He
You've
threw
never
a-
heard that
He
story?
threw a snake in the shower.
early married, he threw a snake in the shower with
and
me.
y'all are still married.
Yes,
Wow.
Look at Si.
he
Wow.
did. Yes, he did.
Willie would have got shot.
Yes. The whole shower curtain came down as I
Oh, no,
like
Willie would've
ran
got
out of the
Oh,
shower.
well, in this
That
case,
night,
mission
Willie would have got
accomplished.
shot.
Willie told me that story one time. I said, why would you do that? He goes, oh, man, Corey's trying to get out. The snake's trying to get out. She's scared. It's scared. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
See
Yeah.
what I go through with him?
man, you are a walking epitome of grace and mercy.
I'm
boy.
telling you.
Wow.
See?
I'm telling
Wow,
you.
See,
that's-
thank you
that
for
is-
that. Yes.
Thanks for living like Jesus. Wow. Yeah. No, if
No.
I tried that with Brittany,
Brittany'd hurt you.
I'd have to go to the plastic surgeon because my face would be disfigured. To some extent, I don't know what she'd use, and I wouldn't be able to blame her. Like if I just threw it. Now she ain't scared of snakes, but you're very
That was-
vulnerable in the shower.
Exactly.
That's like as
Exactly.
vulnerable as a human
Well,
gets.
not
Like-
only that, then it's dangerous.
Thank you, Si.
Yeah.
That's
Hello.
true.
Yeah.
I could have gotten hurt.
Yeah. She could have actually really
Yes.
got hurt.
What kind of
That's
snake
true.
was it? Do you remember?
It was
It don't
Well,
make
like-
any difference.
Just a little one.
Don't make no
Yeah.
difference. It's true.
I
Big
mean,
enough.
Big enough.
Big
no,
enough
I
when
mean,
you big enough
was
when you're in the shower washing your hair.
No.
If a snake gets in
I
there,
mean,
we
no,
got,
it was pretty good size. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't little, but it was just like a little.
yeah, a garden snake.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like that.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, hey,
Yeah.
there we go.
I would rather a snake in the house than the possum.
Yeah, snake get out.
Snake-
He'll find his way out.
Yeah,
He
possum.
don't
That's
hang
grosser
out
to me.
long.
And also like climbing on dishes and on
What about
counters.
slipping and sliding on dishes?
Well,
I wonder.
I
you
don't
know,
want
Luke
any
had a-
wildlife in my house.
now you know when that possum got inside, he said, "Ah." I mean, he thought he
he
walked.
picked the right house.
He thought he
made
walked
it.
past St. Peter's.
Oh,
son.
wait.
He
We
said,
there's
"This
one
is
more.
heaven."
One more part of the story. So on Saturday, something got in the chip bag in our thing, which then I thought, Spaz, why is she acting our dog? I'm blaming the dog the whole
why
time.
is she acting
I'm like,
out?
she is just acting up.
Curly
because
Spaz needs a tune-up.
Willie's out of town or something.
Possum got in the chip drawer.
Well, it wasn't
Probably.
chip
Yeah.
bowl.
What
yeah.
was
Yeah.
his flavor? What,
yeah,
what flavor?
just regular old
Oh, is it
Tostitos,
just-
just
oh, just-
Tostitos, because we had
oh.
had like
Yeah.
chips and queso
Okay.
the night before, and
Man,
Yeah.
he should have at least found like some Cool Ranch or something.
well, I don't have that.
Changing life right there.
Well, I just figured with grandkids, you may have them little bags of chips on the floor, where they can go in there and grab them and
Could
stuff
you
like
imagine
that.
eating maggots and bugs your whole life and then getting a hold to some Cool Ranch Doritos?
that. Oh, praise
Yeah, I
be.
could see it.
That's a good day.
I could see him in Willie's recliner
Yeah.
with a dip.
Yeah, he just sitting there just.
Doritos with ranch dip.
Oh my goodness! Wow,
Well,
that is
He's out.
that's quite the saga.
He's in
though.
John David's.
Yeah. He's down there
garden.
with all of Jeff and Jessica's 400 cats.
Hey, good news is he ain't coming to your house.
No, you
It's
got
too loud around there.
to cross some water too.
Yeah, he got a. Well, he can do that.
Can
but-
possums swim? Oh, I do have a question. Can possums crawl on windows? Like, can their paw prints stick?
Wouldn't think so.
So it had to have gotten up, but we have a stone. Like, so I
Spider-Man?
guess it
y'all,
just crawled
y'all
up
stalling,
that stone.
Yeah, y'all stalling. Yeah, y'all
but there
got a
were
lot
some
of 'em.
prints on the window right there too.
Yeah, he must have tried it and probably was
yeah,
just-
sliding down, and
Yeah.
then
He'd been
crawled up
traveling
the
the neighborhood
stone.
and he saw that house and said, "That's the one. I'm
That's-
getting in."
That's it, boy.
I think he opened the door.
I'm telling you, he come in from the road and by the gate, and he said, "This it.
This is the one.
This them pearly gates, son. Yeah, I'm walking through, baby. Come
Is that
on.
a golf
goodness.
course over there?
Yeah, come on, man.
Where I've been meaning to be.
Oh, boy.
I am legitimately curious because they're mostly nocturnal. So where did that sucker sleep all day while y'all were in
Oh,
that
no,
house?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
That would be the
It-
move
it
to
would be-
find
What's in the house?
Probably, like you said, in that bowl crawled
That's
up.
my guess. Is in
Yeah.
that bowl
Yeah.
now.
to
I
find
have the
his.
bowl.
Yeah, we bleached it and washed it.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'd have to start. I'd be like, hey, I'm registered at Amazon,
Yeah.
Target.
Yeah.
We're having a shower to replace all of our kitchen.
Pottery Barn got that fall sale, y'all. Yeah.
We're out. We're having to start over. Allison would burn our house down. It'd be over.
This segment brought to you by Hefty Paper Plates.
Yeah.
If y'all want to, oh my.
We did
goodness.
on paper plates for a little while. I will admit we did.
Amen.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
only gonna bring the dishes out for guests now.
No, we're back. We're back to the dishes. I'm just saying, it took a little while, a few days.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was
It was
fun.
a thorough cleaning.
That's fun. I love
Yeah.
stories like that. Wildlife stories are always fun. But we do have another special guest in today.
Special guest.
We got our friend Branden in here. He's going to step in. I'm going to step out, and we're going to get to know about all of what's going on in a really cool ministry. I'm not going to spoil it because I want him to tell it. I don't want to tell it wrong. So we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to be out. Brandon's going to be in, and hope y'all enjoy.
Martin, this is my new favorite website.
What, duckstamp.com?
Duckstamps.com.
It is a good one. Look,
It's pretty cool.
and see, you can purchase your duck stamp.
You
Look,
can get old duck stamps,
Like
new
this?
duck stamps.
That's right.
like this one.
There's your duck stamp.
That you have to have. Wow, they got Wilson's Fallow Rope envelopes. That's pretty cool.
See, I told you it's a cool website. But you can get cool versions of the duck stamp,
Yeah.
collectible duck stamps. And duck stamps are important, Martin.
They are very important. Look, federal duck stamps are special stamps that hunters are required to buy if they want to hunt migratory waterfowl. But they're not just for hunters. Conservationists, bird watchers, people that just love the outdoors, love all God's creatures, buy duck stamps because 98% of the money goes right back to the animals. And it's a cool thing. The duck stamp program has helped preserve more than 6 million acres of wetlands across America. Wetlands are incredibly important, and not just for ducks. Everything uses wetlands. Deer, turkeys, fish, snakes, frogs, turtles, you name it. Ducks, songbirds, all the things. Plants, grasses, if you're into the slower moving things, which provide habitats for breeding, feeding, and resting. And like I said, 98% go straight back to conservation. That's unbelievable. And what they do is they acquire wetlands and conservation easements for the National Wildlife Refuge system. And if you have ever enjoyed a trip to Darball National Wildlife Refuge or any of the other 600 National Wildlife Refuges across the country, the Duck Stamp program is what makes those possible. Another cool thing, the current federal duck stamp is a free pass into any National Wildlife Refuge that charges an entry fee. So photographers, hikers, all the things. If you don't want to have to worry about having cash to get into places, just go buy a duck stamp and they'll help you get in. And that ensures that they can experience wildlife at the favorite outdoor places. It's unbelievable, man. It's really a cool thing. I got 24 years worth of them and I buy more than one. I buy my boys one. I buy Brittany one. Just for fun. Help conserve our precious wildlife habitats today. Visit duckstamp.com to learn more and purchase your own duck stamp. Remember, every stamp makes a difference. So visit duckstamp.com today.
So Si went to San Quentin
Yep, for 2 days.
for 2 days. Korie, you've had a history of going to San Quentin, and that's where we met our new friend Branden.
Yes. But first,
Tie it
should
all
we
together.
have you ever had any possum experiences before
yeah, I
we
guess we
go into
So actually, I do have a possum experience
everybody has a possum
in
story.
prison. So
Really?
kind of we could tie it in. So
Okay.
when I left county jail and I head to prison, usually, I was kind of worried about, the big tattooed, 300-pounder, carrying a shiv or a shank. But I remember the place is shut down now, but it's Tracy. And there's no glass. They put you in the blocks. There's no glass. It's just bars outside because everybody breaks it, either uses the glass as weapons or whatever they're doing with it. And in between the blocks, it reminded me of like a Tijuana prison because there's just trash piled up. Guys would, light cigarettes and then throw them out, and fires would go up. Fire truck, like big piles of trash. And one night I was sitting there and I seen these 3 little creatures crawling across the roof. And sure enough, it was possums.
Possum. Oh my goodness.
It was cool because I haven't, I think I'd been in a cell fighting my case for about 2 years at the time. And this is the closest I've got to, outside
Wildlife. Yeah.
And I was like, kind of cool, kind of creepy, kind of gross, but
That
you go.
is great. The possums are everywhere.
No,
You can't get away from
one guy come up to me and introduced himself to me,
Uh-huh.
and he had 3 or 4 lizards.
Oh, I saw him.
Remember?
Yeah, in San Quentin.
He had 3 or 4 lizards
yard.
on him, just and they was crawling all over him,
alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they was live.
They were.
I imagine.
Yeah.
We have the
Well-
Birdman. There's a guy that he talks to the birds and the pigeons and all the animals.
All what
all the
come to
birds.
him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where?
there were, when we
Yeah.
walked into
In the
the
prison at
yard
San Quentin.
in San Quentin, there's like geese. Is it geese?
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere.
Canadian honkers.
Oh,
yeah.
those geese. So them geese back before we started getting some donations from the Giants and stuff, the baseball program, we'd have to chalk the lines with flour. So for our evening games, we'd go get the field ready around 3:00 and then come back out at 6. Well, imagine, 30 geese out on the yard and then a whole bunch of lines of flour. So down the foul lines on both sides would be goose poop
Oh, no.
up and down the whole field.
Yeah.
That
There you
is
go.
funny.
Yeah.
That's great. That
That's
is
wild.
hilarious.
So how did y'all meet, Korie?
Okay. So 2020, this was like February before the whole world shut down.
Like,
Really
3
just right
weeks, yeah.
before. That's crazy. Willie and I got invited to go to San Quentin with our friend Bob Goff, who does these Dream Big classes. And is that kind of how he started and why he started going? Or
So he came in on a tour, San Quentin. Everybody wants to go visit San Quentin. So he came in on a tour through a captain that he had met. And I had happened to be kind of a God-given, God orchestrated experience. I was there, met Bob. And then by the end of that day, he told us about his Dream Big stuff. And we're like, why don't we start that at San Quentin? So
That's
I think,
cool.
maybe the
Okay.
3rd or 4th time he brought you guys.
wow, that's so cool. Yeah. So we got invited to go. Branden is heading that up. He's incarcerated at the time, but he's the leader of kind of that whole thing and getting it started. And you spoke and kind of introduced everybody and all that kind of stuff. So we got to know Branden during that time. And I remember you asked me, you said, would you mind just giving a call to my wife and just talking to her? It's tough, I'm in prison, she's out, and she's got kids, and just trying to help her whatever, have a conversation or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to do that. So I met Lacey and just loved her from the beginning and we'd do a call about every month or so and just check in how we're doing. And then since then, Branden has gotten out of prison and is now just doing incredible things with ministry and work. And while you're in there, this is a cool part because so we have a production company called Tread Lively that produced The Blind. Well, Branden actually was a part of the team that started a production company in San Quentin. And tell a little bit about that. Because I think one of the things that I was so shocked about when I went there is just like all the different things that are happening and opportunities that are happening in the prison and why that's important.
Yeah. So, literally a couple weeks before the world shut down, we were all excited, Duck Dynasty's coming in and all this fun stuff. And then we're on lockdown for 16 months.
Wow.
Didn't see a visitor or my family for 16 months.
That's
but
rough.
here we are. So, so San Quentin has over 100 programs. I help, run and create a couple of them, but I think outside of the baseball program, that just, baseball has a special spot in my life. We started Forward This Productions, which is the only incarcerated film crew in the world that has its own YouTube and Instagram. We got the DOC to give us our own Instagram, own YouTube, right? We get to, interview people, capture all the stories inside the prison, and then put them up on our channels. And so at the time, you and Lacey were talking, and I was mentoring Austin on the baseball program, who was getting ready to parole.
That's right.
And had a shot to play. He was going to go try to play Major League Baseball. He was, super young, star athlete, got locked up, and he's getting ready to go out. And through some of the connections I had with the Giants, and then, you guys, I think it was Adam connected him to some folks to the Royals.
Roach.
Yep. And so he got out, and a couple of weeks. It's during COVID. And so a couple weeks before he was supposed to parole, I just we need to tell his story. And so I had shared it with Lacey, and Lacey had shared it with you. And it seemed like a couple days later, you guys had prayed on it and was like, we want to help in whatever way. So, we were able to, that's how we kind of first came together and really working together.
Yeah. So that's been 4 years now. And then now Branden's out. He has a new baby. He's the cutest little guy in the world. And so we've just maintained a friendship and a relationship. And I had never done anything with God Behind Bars, which is who kind of organized the thing that we went to at San Quentin. But Sadie had done something. She went to a women's prison with them one time and just said how incredible it was. So I followed them on Instagram forever and have met some of them, but never actually done an event there. So I was like, oh, Branden, you should talk to God Behind Bars. If y'all get something together, we're coming. We will be there. And so, so that's kind of how this one came about. And it was an incredible day?
No, yeah.
Or what?
I got to ask you, what was you in for?
For murder. Ended up getting it to manslaughter. Took the life of Ryan in 2012.
Because the scripture I'm thinking about, God moves in mysterious ways. Because I've seen him in my life just hindsight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. When I thought I was by myself, no, I wasn't by myself.
I mean,
he was always there.
Yep.
And I just listening to you talk, I've got chill bumps over my whole body.
Yeah.
Because I read in the Bible where Paul said, well, I've learned to be content whatever situation I find myself in. Well, with me and freedom, I didn't like going in San Quentin because they was putting keys in iron gates, and it's a sound that
not a good sound.
Gives me the heebie-weebies. I'm serious.
I still always say a prayer every time I go in, come on, God, please make sure I go home. I mean, I was just living in the darkness for so long, choosing a life of crime and growing pot, shipping weed all over the country. And, eventually one thing led to the next. I took Ryan's life. And in that moment, the world stopped, right? Didn't know, couldn't even imagine. I always knew I'd go to prison, but I never thought I'd be taking someone's life. You think that right there, lights would go on and you'd figure it out. Well, then, 3.5 years sober, get to the prison I want to go to. I had to go navigate, a couple different prisons and all the politics and violence and that. And I get to San Quentin, which I wanted to go there for baseball in college, and get there. And you seen that environment. It didn't seem like prison, right? There's so much freedom. It does.
That's the thing that shocked me. Okay. And then when I actually talked to some of the inmates, okay, and they're telling me the things like I just told you.
Yep.
That hey, I was a prisoner when I was free. I was a bigger prisoner than I am right here.
Yep.
A lot of men think hair thinning is based on just genetics alone. Don't realize there's a lot more to it. Nutrafol targets 6 root causes: hormone, stress, lifestyle, metabolism, nutrition, and aging, all of which can trigger hair thinning and activate genetic predisposition. And then the other misnomer about hair thinning is that we think it's only for the guys. So today, y'all have heard me talk about Brittany and how much she loves it and takes it and how it works. Forget it. It's right from the horse's mouth. Does it work, dear?
Listen, I'm so happy that stuff exists. I'd be lost without it. I don't know where I'd be. Postpartum really ran my hair through the ringer.
We're here to tell you, I've said it and y'all have heard it and y'all probably, oh, he's full of crap. But now you've heard it from her that it works. We no longer have shower spiders, as I call them, big wads of hair stuck on the deal.
Y'all used to, dog and you was running a close contest.
To learn more, Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1 million people. There's one of them.
I think
See, thicker,
1
you heard it from
million.
this one.
yeah. See,
I love it.
See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. Nutrafol's hair growth supplements are physician formulated using 100% drug-free ingredients. The technology provides consistent, reliable results for men and women. Men also reported no compromise in sexual performance.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
while many
Oh,
supplements rely solely on ingredient studies, Nutrafol clinically tests final formulations to ensure their efficacy. In a clinical study, 84% of men showed improvement in their hair after 6 months of taking Nutrafol's men hair growth supplements. And with a Nutrafol subscription, building a hair growth routine is simple. You purchase online, no prescription. Automated deliveries and free shipping keep you on track. Plus, you can save up to 20%. You'll have access to free naturopathic doctor consults, and a Headspace membership is included. So if you want to learn more about it, I'm going to tell you how. Look, take the first step towards achieving your hair growth goals. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men and enter promo code DUCK. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com/men, spelled Nutrafol.com/men, and enter promo code
DUCK.
That's Nutrafol.com/men, promo code
DUCK.
And so I had got to San Quentin, and I'm like, this is not prison. I got this warped belief system. This is how prison's supposed to be like. And I ended up getting, relapse, and I couldn't handle it. Right. I relapsed and found myself doing almost a year in the hole. And that's where God really got a hold of me. But
yeah, you got to tell that story. You were telling us, I had not heard that part of your story until we were here just recently.
I haven't ever been to prison. What's a year in the hole?
So
for those of us that don't know.
Branden does use a lot of terms
because
that
that
I'm
sounds scary.
I need to Google.
Solitary confinement. But so this wasn't just the hole. So California, San Quentin is the only prison at the time that holds death row people, right? So when you're sentenced to death in California, you're not sentenced to the state, you're sentenced to the warden of San Quentin. And so the Adjustment Center was designed for all the mobsters, all the worst of the worst, for death row. So it's the most secure housing unit in the state. And because of, me being a knucklehead and what I did, when I relapsed, they're like, yeah, you're not going to the normal hole, you're going to the Adjustment Center. And so I was literally surrounded in a housing unit with serial killers, right? And I remember, and this is a story, this is how God will use anybody, right? So I'm out on the yard. It's May 21st, 2016. My youngest brother, Benny, it's his birthday, right? He has Asperger's. He's struggling. So I'm always praying for him. But I'm out on the yard on the morning of the 21st, and me and Stomper, there's this guy named Stomper. He's the most notorious, violent, and I don't like putting labels on people, but he's a bad dude, right? I think he has like 7 or 8 bodies, confirmed bodies. And we get done doing our workout, and we're not together. We're in dog kennels, basically, in our own cages. And after we do our workout, we always would talk. And he asked me just randomly, he's like, "What do you want in life?" "What do you mean?" "So what do you want in life? Is this what you want?" Because I was looking, I'm looking at another 11, 12 years for battery on staff and another stabbing in prison. That's what put me there. And I'm like, no, this ain't what I want, but, it's politics, and this is how it is in prison. He's like, no. He said, look it. He said, if I could go back to my 14-year-old self before I joined the white power gang and put all these tattoos on my body, I would. But I'm fully committed. I got multiple, death sentences hanging over my head. Like, this is my life. But, if you have the opportunity to stay at this prison, because the way I was working my court case and everything, there was a small sliver that I could potentially stay at San Quentin despite, everything that I had done. He says, do it. He said, get out there and enjoy this place. And so, God, so I go back to my cell that night. I'm praying for Ben. I'm on my knees like, God, help Ben, heal him. He needs you, right? And I just hear this loud, thunderous voice. What are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for me? And it just hit me. It's the one time I heard God's voice. I've heard him, since then. But this is the first time I heard God speak to me. He's like, what are you going to do for me? And so a lot of rookie, I like to call at the time a rookie Christian, right? I think I'm always learning. I'm probably still a rookie Christian, but we're always asking, right? Like, it's kind of taught to us, like, just whenever you have problems, right? Go to God, right? And so it seemed like I was always asking, and this was God yelling at me, what are you going to do for me? Like, I'm always going to, provide, but what are you going to do me? And it just dawned on me. Just give him my addiction. Lay everything. I'm trying to do life on my own. I'm like searching and trying to control every outcome, like just surrender everything. So I get out of that prayer and I'm like pacing back and forth in this little cell. Like, I can't make this promise to God, like never use alcohol, drugs, and just, walk away from this life. And I'm like, what are you thinking? Just do it. And so I get on my knees, make a promise, never use alcohol, drugs again. From that day, never alcohol, drugs. And believe me, like prison, it's everywhere, right? Not only was I delivered, I had all that time, hanging over my head. Should have been shipped out to Pelican Bay, or one of the toughest prisons in California, from San Quentin. Was able to stay. So God, open up the doors for me to be free inside prison, and literally, experience true freedom within. And then got out, and within a month I was reconnected with Lacey, which, soon after became my wife. And then I meet Bob Goff and you guys, and, just so many people, that literally visited me, I met in prison. And so now, we're baptizing, almost 100 people, we're traveling around, just loving on people, helping people. And it was all through the people God delivered to me at San Quentin and let me meet at San Quentin.
That's amazing.
My jaw's just open because that's an amazing story. But it's funny because it's like, you just sound like one of the guys of the Old Testament.
Yeah.
You messed up.
Yep.
Who we all consider these great heroes of the Bible. And you messed up. So did Moses. And once you got out of the way and just said, God, use me, you end up doing stuff like, Moses did. And that's just amazing to hear. I'm excited.
Nobody was crazy about this, okay? Because I've never thought about what you said. Everybody's always saying when they hit rock bottom, they finally say, okay, what are you going to do for me? But none of them have ever said, okay, God's going to say, hey, yeah, I'll do this, and then what are you going to do?
Yep. I mean, in life, you have to have, I don't like the saying, never go into life with expectation. God expects us to live a certain way.
No.
He expects us to give our lives to him and let him be in control. And so, when we're always asking, I can't pay the bills, I need help, I need protection on this, like, when are we ever in
Yeah, but
in prayer to like what can I do for you?
It's always give me.
Transactional. Yep.
Yeah, it's always give me.
And
It's
that's
that
Never saying anything about, oh, maybe I ought to do something for you.
and it's still for us, and that's the crazy thing.
No.
Like it's really more rewarding for us. Like all I had to do is like, God, I promise to never use alcohol again. And now, only thing I fear, even Stauber, he was a bad dude. Like probably would whip me, but I'd step in that cage with them. I'm not trying to break a promise to God, right? And so, not that I've ever had the urge to drink. I always, me and Lacey went to dinner with this guy. I did talk at the recovery convention in our local county, and we went out to dinner prior, and we sat down and we ordered. Everybody's ordering drinks and stuff, and I asked the Jack and Coke. He looked across, and I'm just joking. Right? He's never had an urge to use alcohol or drugs or anything again, but there's always like this oath. Like I made this promise, right? And I probably should. There's other things in my life that I should probably look at the same way. I made this promise to God. There's a fear of breaking it, never going to break it.
Well, no, because see, that's what I'm thinking right now. When I've talked to God before, I wouldn't promise.
Yep.
I said, because hey, I'm too weak and I won't fulfill it.
Yep.
You fulfill your part.
Yep.
I'm not going to promise to you because I know I'm lying to you. I won't be able to do it.
I was thinking about that line in the movie, The Blind. So we showed the movie when we were out there, and it's because one other time when I was out there, I was sitting there talking to all the guys in the production company and just hearing their stories, and I'm like, it's all of our stories to an extent. They're the details are different, but it's all of our stories. And in the movie, The Blind, and the whole point of that movie was just to let people know, like, you're not too far gone. There's no one too far gone.
You can't get too far gone for Jesus.
Exactly. And it's that line where Phil, and I feel like that's the point got to, and the point where we all have to get to, where he says, I had to get to the end of myself to find the beginning of God.
Well,
and that's really what it's about. It's like getting to the end of yourself and like realizing that that's where true freedom is found, is when you get to the end of yourself.
That's why the best part of that movie to me was when Phil finally him and Bill are sitting out there on the ground behind the trailer. And Phil just finally said, Bill, I have no idea what to do.
He's Mike Lindell, and he delivers.
He does deliver, and what he's delivering you is the most requested offer ever. You can get the queen size premium MyPillow now, only $19.98.
That's less than a $20 bill.
It's unbelievable.
For the greatest pillow you may ever receive.
Yeah, and because we all know that MyPillow is made with the patented adjustable feel. It adjusts to your exact individual needs regardless of your sleep position. It helps keep your neck aligned and holds its shape all night long so you get the best sleep of your life.
But that's not all.
What else you got?
Hey, we got robes.
Okay.
You got the towels.
Okay.
You got
Kitchen,
the
bath.
bed sheets.
Okay.
And how much?
You got it all.
And
Whatever
how much
you
do those
want,
cost?
I got it.
And in case you want to go slipping around your
That's
house,
it.
they got
In the
slippers.
house.
And that's only
Hey, get them
$25.
And if you love your animals and you want to get them a new bed, they got pet bed. Basically, anything for the great indoors, our friends over at MyPillow got. So
Thank you,
look,
Mike.
you can also get their 6-piece kitchen and bath towel set for
$25.
There you go. Or their famous MyPillow bed sheets for as low.
That's $25.
And so much more. Look,
We love it.
we done told y'all this. We keep telling y'all this. We mean
I
it.
keep my pillows in my closet just in case I need a quick gift.
I've seen you deliver it on Instagram.
It's
I've
a
seen
thing
you
I
walk
do.
out to the street and
It's a
hand one
nice
out.
thing. Like, nobody's ever disappointed in a pillow.
I ain't never been mad at one. We keep telling y'all this. Christmas is coming. This amazing offer won't last long. Go to mypillow.com/duck and enter promo code
Duck.
or call 800-969-3137 to get huge discounts on all MyPillow products, including the premium queen size MyPillow for only $19.98. That's the lowest price ever. Go to mypillow.com/duck and enter promo code
Duck.
or call 800-969-3137. Don't delay.
Do it right now.
Or today.
You got to tell a little bit of the baptism stories because Branden said right as we were walking up, he's like, "This is the first time you've ever baptized anybody," and it was going to be Willie and I'm like, I cannot lift these men out of this water. So you got to tell about the tubs and all that part of the story.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that we were able to pull off what we did at San Quentin goes back to, the work, the extra time. Right. I looked over to my wife because I could have been home a little bit sooner. Right. I chose baseball and things that didn't get you out of prison sooner because I believed in my heart, this is where God wants me. Now I could have went and focused on college and other programs that, there's an incentive. You get time knocked off your sentence. And I just didn't do that stuff because I didn't feel God, wanted me there. But some of the relationships and the visions and the things that we were able to do last week, or 2 weeks ago when we were at San Quentin, if it wasn't for me being in that prison, I don't think we would have been able to pull it off.
No, there's no way we could have.
I have a cold plunge set up, with just a 110 gallon trough from Tractor Supply, and so like I could fit in that. Never been fully dunked in one of those things, and so I'm like, warden says yeah, so we get 5 of them, right? And we get them there and we set them up and we're like, part of the thing too is God behind bar. Like we get to, stream the whole thing and show it to the world. So you got to kind of have things set up so people could see through the cameras. And so we're trying to get it all set up. And about an hour before the baptisms, Willie was like, how are we going to, Willie and Levi were like, how are we going to do this? And we thought we had a plan, right? And to dunk them. And then it was like, well,
you're like logistically, like, can they kneel down inside there? I mean, they're not quite big enough to kneel down. Some of these guys are big guys too. We're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, we figured it out. And then Korie was like, this is going to be tough, right? And so I became Willie's partner and she was right there, cheering on and praying
cheering everybody,
and helping out. But like never in a million years would I have thought that I was be baptizing guys on the same baseball field, prison yard that I spent almost 11 years at. The moments where, I was locked up, my grandfather died. I'd go to that baseball field right there where we were at and just cry and get right with God, right? Tune in. There was times where, my wife and kids would be, homeless, right? There was 2 different times where trying to get a house and I'd go right there and get right with God. And so, 2 years, literally 2 years, 2 days after being released from San Quentin, I'm on that same baseball field baptizing in guys with Willie and Korie and the whole team. And this is the crazy thing. So I
haven't got to the crazy thing yet?
No. So this is
buckle up for what's coming next.
So how we've done baptisms at like Sadie's event where there's like hundreds of people get baptized. Well, you got to keep refilling the water when that happens because people take water out with them, especially these big guys. They go under and they splash it all out. And so I looked there and I was like, do we have a way to refill these tanks? And they're like, no, that's it. That's all the water.
And about halfway through, I'm looking because for whatever, we had 5 tanks, but I'm looking and I'm getting tired. Willie's getting tired. There's some big dudes we're dunking. And the way we're dunking them, we have to dunk them and then bring them all the way back up, right?
So they're bringing water out with them every time.
Yeah, every time. And some of these dudes are just going back. Boom. Like water going everywhere. And I'm looking over and like,
but I started praying because I was like, we're going to run out of water. They're going to we're going to run out of water. So before we even started, I started praying about it, but then I just forget because we're in the moment. I'm not even thinking about it. So Branden, you noticed it though.
Well, I was like about a little past halfway. I'm like, I don't know if we're going to have enough water. And I look over and everybody wants me and Willie to do it. Right. Yeah. Like Levi's next to us, but there was like, people were like steering towards our line. Right. And so we obviously made it through. And about almost to the end, we had this big Uso, big Samoan dude, like 350 pounder. And he comes in and me and Willie are like, oh my goodness, how are we going to get this guy out?
Underwater.
And this guy, he actually made Willie do the splits because there's so much
Willie
water.
Pulled his hamstrings.
Yeah, he pulled his hammy.
Shocker that he got hurt.
By the end, we're literally standing in mud though, for real.
We're
like,
standing, like it was
splattered with mud.
And it was the lights have went down, right? It was dark, right? And another thing that you really don't do on the prison yard is a bunch of stuff like this in the dark. But afterwards, so I was able to take my best friend and his brothers, like my extended family, in with us. And this family has like some spiritual gifts, right? They're really connected spiritually. And so Daniel calls me over to the troughs. He's like, look at the water. He's like, look at the water level. He's all, you guys were about to run out of water, because he was right there handing towels out. I was like, that's crazy. It was almost like, it was over halfway full, almost 3/4 way full. And there was at a time like that thing was almost empty. And then I'm sitting there looking at it,
water showing.
and all the water. And now I know water like evaporates and stuff, but I know that field too. Water sits on that field. It wasn't muddy. Like there was no
crazy.
mud, right? And
It's
so
crazy.
like, and then I got back to the hotel after we had to clean up, and we're sitting there and talking about this story. And Corey's like, I noticed the exact same thing. And I was literally praying over that. God wasn't going to make sure, no man went without getting baptized if he wanted to get baptized.
It was pretty
Wow.
insane. My favorite part of the night was just after all the baptisms, and we had like 2 or 3 more songs. And I mean, people were just praising. It was like,
Jumping.
it felt like freedom. People were jumping, praising, worshiping. And it was just this beautiful moment of like just celebrating what God did.
Yep.
This is in the San Quentin.
Yeah.
On the baseball field at San Quentin.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
pretty wild.
Yep.
That's pretty wild.
Unbelievable.
I mean, a revival. Like literally,
Yeah.
we were. Now we could go to Angola on Thursday.
and that's next.
Next.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm in.
Huh.
I'm hopping on the bus and going with.
We're going to do it.
Si said he's got to sit
Well,
this one
hey,
out. I'm tag team.
There you go.
Let's say this. The best
Terrible high
speaker
five.
of the day
Worst high five
was
ever.
the young lady.
Taya Kyle.
Oh, Taya.
She
Yeah.
was incredible. She
set-
brought it.
She set
Yes.
me up perfect for what I wanted to talk about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I talked about my brother, when he was running with the devil, always his motto was, "Who's the man?"
Yep.
And she done her deal, and it set me up perfectly. Talked about, hey, now I'm gonna tell you about the man. His name is Jesus Christ. He's the Messiah.
Yep. I loved it.
God in flesh.
Mhm.
He's the one that can raise dead men. But it was fabulous. I
Yeah.
thought she done
It was a great
great
day.
job.
That's Taya Kyle. That's Chris Kyle, the American
Yeah.
Sniper's wife. And she
His
was
son-
power. And she
brought her
was
son,
so
too.
her son
His
Colton
son done a
spoke.
good job too.
He did.
That
yeah.
was his first time.
No,
Speaking
he done
like that.
excellent for his first time.
Yeah.
That morning in the hotel, she was just like, she had tears in her eyes. She just felt the burden of like what God wanted her to say in that moment. She was like, it just feels so important.
You always
for-
want to give his best.
That's right.
Yep.
Yes. You
know,
could
'cause
feel
that's
that.
what I always
Everybody
pray when I
there.
gotta speak. Hey, you speak. You tell them what you want them through me.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
No, don't let me get in the way. You
Everybody
tell
felt
'em.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll
it was-
have to report back after Angola.
I can't wait.
Oh, I enjoyed it the
I
time.
thought y'all
went.
just went to
Yeah.
church in San Quentin. I didn't know there was revival and miracles on a baseball field happening.
Oh no,
Oh, it was real.
It had happened down there in Angola because when I went up there, Phil had done spoke, Al had spoke, and I was thinking, well, what am I going to do? When I got up there, I said, I hear y'all are really big in gangs. I said, y'all are running with the wrong gang. I said, you need to join my gang. And they was all, and I said, hey, my gang is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And hey, you don't want to mess with any of them three. Because when I was leaving, I kept telling every time someone would come up to me, I said, hey, y'all take care of each other. This is a family. Y'all got a family here. Take care of each other. And I felt that.
Yeah. No, there's a strong community. And
I
so
know,
I'm hoping Angola is the same thing. And
No, it is. And they got some bad dudes down there too. It's just.
Well, I just want to say thank you to all you guys, your family. The fact that you jump on a plane and fly over to a prison that I spent so long in and have so many good friends and brothers in there. The cool thing is they got the cheap, low budget channels that only play reruns. So for like the last 2 years, all the Duck Dynasty shows have been, not on rerun, right? So those guys are used to you guys. And
Here's why I do it. Okay, because when I look around and when I'm out, all I can see is misery. Okay, and it bothers me because Jesus, 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 18 says, in Christ Jesus, all the answers are yes.
Mm.
Well, with that, you would have to be just totally insane, not want to be in Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, everybody's fighting it. They're going the other direction. They're going with the evil one, which is crazy.
Part of
When are
being
you
lost.
going? I always say it this way: the prodigal son, he was watching pigs eat slop and was envious of them. And then the Bible says it this way: and he finally came to his senses
Mm-hmm.
and says, "Hey, let me go back to my father's house. I'll be one of his hired hands." Because they got it better than I've got it right now. Yeah. And that's why it really bothers me. You've got the answer. Jesus is the answer. And yet they don't want no part of it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it and saying, you're insane.
Mm-hmm.
You're totally insane. Everything is yes in him, and yet you don't want to be in him. Yeah, you've lost your mind.
Well, let's go to Angola.
Let's go.
Branden Terrell.
Terrell.
I want to pronounce it right. Korie been
Yep.
pronouncing it wrong for 4 years.
I just
You call
confessed.
me anything, just not late for dinner, and I know
right.
Willie's gonna call us late.
We got
Call
a deer
him.
steak.
Oh, okay.
We got a
Well,
deer steak.
we're gonna put it's Branden Terrell Coaching on Instagram. Put that in the links and stuff area, Hunter. And then we always end every podcast with a Bible verse.
Bible verse.
This is 1 Timothy 1:15. This is Paul talking. Here's a trustworthy saying that deserves full acceptance. Christ Jesus came in the world to save sinners, of whom I am the worst. But for that very reason, I was shown mercy so that in me, the worst of sinners, Christ Jesus might display his immense patience as an example for those who would believe in him and receive eternal life. Now to the King, eternal, immortal, invisible, the only God, be honor and glory forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, I'm going to Angola. I'm fired up.
Oh, no. You're going to be fired up after you get back.
We'll report back.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. See y'all next time.